All right.
Hello, everyone.
Everybody,
How are you doing, Pastor Justin?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's a beautiful morning, beautiful Saturday morning. It's kind of the day that you want to go out and just do outdoor things,
Mm,
And beautiful days just lift my spirits up like no other.
mm, nice. Are you gonna go outside today? You have any plans?
Yeah, actually, so today's my dad's birthday. Happy
Oh,
birthday, Dad, because I know he watches these.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So I'm gonna go out and probably get some goodies for his birthday. We
Mm,
usually keep our birthday celebrations like low key, and by low key, that's like a term and used amongst the young people, meaning we don't go all out and we just kind of keep it um, not too crazy. So we're
mm,
just gonna do like a nice dinner and eat some cake.
okay, nice. Wow, that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, so welcome. Hello, everyone, to Checking In with the Pastor, where we have a conversation about what's going on in the community as well as what's going on in our pastor's heart. So, the purpose of this program is to let the members of the community know what's been happening locally and beyond in our community, to have members feel connected to the pastor, and to create a culture of love, honesty, and transparency. My name is Chiaki, and I will be your host today. All right. Well, so what were some of the highlights of the week, Pastor Justin?
Hmm. Yeah. So highlights of the week. Um, yeah, one highlight. This might sound strange as a highlight, but we got started on working on the phone directory. So, yeah, our community has a history of having this little yellow book. I think it's always been yellow.
Mm-hmm.
This little yellow phone directory book, and yeah, people really like this book, and a lot of people have asked about this book. Well, when are we gonna get a new directory? I think it hasn't been updated for a little while now. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, finally, it's been something that's been on my mind for a long time because that request has been there for a long time. So
Mm-hmm.
finally, um, yeah, we got started on updating people's information. So yeah, I hired somebody from Malaysia to help me out with this. So
Oh.
yeah, this is my first time trying out like outsourcing to
Mm-hmm.
uh, another country for
Mm-hmm.
tasks, which was yeah, something that I learned through when I was running a coaching business. I learned about outsourcing,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, you can hire somebody from Philippines or Malaysia or one of these southeastern countries, Southeast Asian countries, for yeah, somewhere between $4 and $6 an hour is like a pretty decent wage for
Mm-hmm.
them over there. Like I heard they work at McDonald's, they make about $1 an hour, so like five
Mm-hmm.
dollars an hour is actually a pretty good wage.
Right.
Um, so yeah, we can pay him like $5 an hour, and he can really focus and work on just that one task and get
Mm-hmm.
it done. And that's to me that's really there's just so many possibilities that open up when we can delegate and kind of pull from talent from all around the world. So um, yeah, that's another. I guess that's part of why it's exciting to me because just like those kinds of things open up like possibilities, and they're a win-win for everyone involved. Um, yeah, so already like I'm getting email responses from members that are saying like, "Oh, thank you so much for working on this," and
That's
you know,
awesome.
so yeah, that's that's a highlight.
Yeah. That's great. I think the last book we have is like from either 2016 or 2017.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
So
something like that.
yeah, so it's a pretty old one. So this
Yeah.
is a great project. I highly, highly support it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll probably be out in like mid. I don't know. I'm afraid to say the exact date, but maybe mid to late October is what I'm shooting
Hmm.
for. So yeah,
Okay,
you can stay tuned for that.
nice.
Yeah. How about you, Jackie? Any highlights from the week?
Highlights from the week. Hmm. Let's see. This week was actually pretty exhausting. Um, so like yesterday was the last day, the last work day of the week. So I was kind of just like, the week is done. I'm done with I'm done with work for the week. I can just finally relax. So I feel like I was kind of just like focused on this week ending, and I might have not even had any time to like sit down and relax. But I mean, at least yesterday I was like, you know what? I'll treat myself because this week was pretty long. So I'll just say yesterday was my highlight because I was able to finally just relax from the busyness of the week. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
good to treat yourself after a long week.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Hi. Yes, everyone should do this to themselves because everyone deserves a treat.
yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, what challenges came up this past week?
Yeah, challenges. Well, I feel like I say this challenge a lot, but lots of just all kinds of things coming up. Um, we we yeah, very suddenly we were asked to start prepare an event for October 2nd for the
Oh
Chumbo
wow.
couples. Um, and yeah, it looks like it's gonna be like it's this blessing event, and there's gonna be holy wine, and there's just like a lot of details that like um I don't know, for me as you know, as a new pastor, was kind of overwhelming because I had never really been a part of organizing this kind of event or like a blessing ceremony or anything like that. Um, and then yeah, suddenly it was we were asked to do that. Um, yeah, and then another challenge with that is like Belvedere. The property was booked for that day, so we
Hmm.
had to look into East Garden if that's available, and then that wasn't available. And finally, it's most likely going to happen at 43rd Street, which is, you know, it's a challenge, but at the same time, for me, it's it's a little of a it's I mean it's just you know, it takes the pressure off of me because I don't have to actually organize it fully. Reverend Edwin will mostly be doing it, but um yeah, but anyway, things like that are always a little challenging when you know I have like a plan this week of what I'm going to focus on and what I want to do, and then you know, requests come from above, and you know, gotta get into like emergency mode and try to make something happen. So yeah, that's a challenge. I think it's I mean, I kind of expected it to be like this kind of job, so I'm not like complaining about it too much. It kind of comes with the territory, I think. And yeah, I understand. Like, it's not easy to coordinate a worldwide movement, you know, because this is an event that's they're trying to stream and broadcast, you know, simultaneously to I don't know what 180 different countries or something. So
Wow.
very easy to coordinate that. So but
Mm-hmm.
can't be so upset about it. But yeah, someday I pray that our our church can become a little more uh, less last minute. But
Yeah.
really nice. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that's my challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I can imagine how challenging it can be to be a pastor because, you're not just giving sermons, you're taking on these additional roles to coordinate things and maybe sometimes like plan events. So it's a role that you have to take on multiple responsibilities. So it can be challenging. I can imagine.
Mm.
So we much respect to you.
Thanks, Jackie. Yeah, yeah. It is a role that there is like no limit to what you can what you can contribute. That is kind of like the cool part about it as well, is just like whatever skills you might have when you step into the pastoral role, like you could probably find a way to contribute those skills to your role. Like if I had um web design skills, I could contribute that as a pastor, to my
Hmm.
role, because there's so much stuff to do with the website and things like that. And um if I I'm glad that I have like coaching experience and public speaking experience and event planning experience. Luckily those are like some of the core skills that are called upon as a pastor, and I have that experience, so that's definitely nice. But um yeah, there's just a lot of um possible ways to contribute, you know and that goes for a pastor, but I mean, really anybody in the community. If you have a talent
Hmm.
or skill, like there's there's a million possibilities of what we do, and we're probably only doing a very small fraction of what we possibly could do. So um yeah, it's challenging, but also
Yeah.
yeah, lots of possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. I specifically want to kind of dedicate that message to like the youth of our community and how working or even volunteering for the church community is a great way to get experience and
Mm,
build your skills. So, you know, um, yeah, someone from our community was saying how this is a safe environment to be able to want to explore your interests and the skills you want to build on. So like helping out with Sunday service. We have a website, so helping out with that.
mm.
Yeah, like so many opportunities to gain those experiences and skills that you
Yeah.
can't quite do in the professional world.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like a really fun and cool internship where no one will get upset with you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So, what or who were you grateful for this past week then?
Yeah. So, well, um, yeah, lots of people. I could say I was grateful for. Um, yeah, I was grateful. I just had a meeting last night with the Sunday Service Committee, and yeah, I was just grateful to be with this group of volunteers. Anytime I'm with a group of volunteers, like it's a time for me to feel grateful, because I know that they're really just offering something from their heart, something that they care about and they're passionate about. And so yeah, being with this team, um, yeah, we're planning a worship in the woods service, which is kind of like a special service that we do once a year in the woods of
Mhm.
Belvedere. And yeah, I could see them, getting excited and really offering ideas of what we could do, and like not just offering ideas, but offering to actually do stuff in between meetings. When
Mhm.
people step up in that way, then I especially feel grateful, because um, yeah, I like yeah, it's very easy for me to just say, okay, I'm gonna do it, by myself, and I'll try to get everything done. Um, but when people really offer, and they just say, oh, I can do this, I can do this, then it just feels like, yeah, I just feel really supported. Like, yeah, I'm not doing this by myself, and there's other people who really care about this community and what we're doing. So um, yeah, I'd say, yeah, the Sunday Service Committee, and yeah, but also, we met with the communications team. We're grateful for them, and the council, met with them this week as well. So, and yeah, really all the volunteers that I was able to meet with this past week. Lots of gratitude, lots of love. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I totally forgot that service in the woods was something we used to do. So I'm excited that we'll be bringing that back again.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a good service to check out if if you live a little far away, or you know you aren't able to make it. It's also going to be outdoors, so anybody who's kind of still weary about COVID, this will be, I think, a time people can feel a little bit more relaxed. Um, yeah, so we're planning for about a month from now. October 24th is the current date that we're looking at. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that.
Awesome. Mark your calendars.
That's right.
Yes. So anything else that's been on your mind that you want to share, Pastor Justin?
Um, hmm. Anything else? Hmm. Well, yeah. Um, well, one thing that did come up this week that, yeah, and we sent an email about it, is Mrs. Stinnard. She's been in the hospice for a while, and she's yeah, she's it looks like kind of on her way to transition into the spirit world. And yeah, so as we said in the email, we definitely appreciate any prayers from our brothers and sisters for her successful transition. um but yeah, for me, it was it was interesting, because like, it was the first time as a pastor having to face the realities of people in the congregation passing away. Um, there's, of course, there's been many Songhuas in the past few years, and a lot of wonderful brothers and sisters who have passed on, and some of them, I knew pretty well, and it was always very kind of yeah, jarring to hear. But yeah, this was the first time, kind of, as the pastor, to kind of face that somebody is passing away in the community. Um and especially because, like, I know Mrs. Stern's son pretty well, Patrick, and he's someone who's just such a wonderful guy, and it's been like practically my right hand man in many ways. He's just been so helpful. Such a yeah, just such a willing guy to help out. And yeah, anyway, I think people deal with these things in different ways. um some people, of course, True Father said, we need to, Songhua should be more like a celebration, and some people can really, feel that sense of celebration that they're passing on to some, a new life. It's just a new phase. um but yeah, other people, it can be difficult. I think, especially, like, um yeah, anyway, I don't want to get too grim, but people with elder parents, it's kind of scary. Like, I felt kind of scared, anytime, like, an older person that I know dies. It just brings the reality of my own parents' age, and that this could happen to my own parents at some point. And that's, to me, that's pretty terrifying. And I guess it's a reminder, that we don't have unlimited time on this earth, and yeah, we really do need to cherish the time that we have with our loved ones, and especially our parents and our elders in the community. So yeah, that's kind of been on my mind, and yeah, again, just want to ask everyone to continue praying for Sister Stannard, and yeah, pray for the family as well, for what they're going through, and yeah, if you can support them somehow, to reach out. So yeah, I think that's what's been on my mind.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. I want to share about a time, this conversation or interaction I had with my manager one time. So there was a Songhua ceremony that I went to, and so that day I had to take off work. So I told my manager that I was going to a funeral service at my church, and she was like, okay. And that day I posted a picture on my Instagram, not on my Instagram stories. So she saw my outfit, and you know how our Songhua ceremonies, we wear white. So that later that week, my manager asked me, because she saw my picture that I posted where I was wearing all white, and she was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Like you guys wear white?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'm not informed enough to be able to give like a good explanation as to why we wear white versus, you know, the other people wearing black in other communities for funeral services. But the way I described it, I was like, yeah, we try to see, I guess, the whole transition funeral services at our church as more of a transitional process, and more of it in like a positive light, where they're transitioning onto the spirit world. And that's the way I described it. And she was like, "Oh, that's very interesting, because that's so different from the way like we do it," because she comes from a Jewish background. And yeah, I mean, like, of course, it like Songhua ceremonies, they're very sad, and for families who experienced any kind of loss, I can only imagine the kind of grief that they have to go through. But I always respect and appreciated the fact that we try to see this ceremony in more of a positive light, where they can go back to true parents, true heavenly parents, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it is a very different concept, and yeah, my experience with Songhua ceremonies is there's always a lot of laughter. Of course, there's tears as well, but there's also a lot of laughter, and really celebrating that person. So yeah, anyway, I appreciate you sharing that. It's definitely a different perspective and something unique about our culture.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so to close off our program, let's go into upcoming events and announcements.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we are still currently searching for a Sunday school director. So if you feel compelled to want to offer yourself for the service of our Sunday school children, please contact Pastor Justin. Up and coming kickoff. We are starting up and coming at Belvedere at October 9th. So please mark your calendars for all the youth. And once again, we're still looking for a new home for Grizz. So keep an eye out and let your friends, families, coworkers, everyone know that there is a loving cat who is in need of a loving home. Checking in with the pastor like we are doing right now. Tune into our website to know what's going on in the community and in the mind and heart of our pastor, hosted by our very own Michiaki Hagiwara. And find all of this and more at belvederefamily.com, and don't forget to sign up for our newsletter.
All right. I think that's all of them.
Awesome. Okay. So anything you want to add, Pastor Justin?
I don't think so. As I mentioned, we have this the Chumbo blessing on the 2nd, and also we're gonna have a Chumbo induction on the 9th of October. So details are still being worked out. So just stay tuned to get more details on those.
All righty. Yes, stay tuned. Keep an eye out. Okay, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments for us, please email myself at chiakihagiwara@gmail.com. We will answer questions and feature comments on our program for next week. So see you next week.
Yep, see you next week. Thank you. Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Justin. Bye.